I'm about to punch Theda in her face.
No, you're not.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
You could have just been like, Theda, can you give me some slack?
You.
When? Petra.
I'm gonna miss you.
Calm on that noise.
All that noise? What noise do you speak of?
This noise that you spewing out your face. They say this is a big rich. I'm gonna just randomly come. I'm not even gonna give y'all no warning.
I'm like, who is she?
I'm gonna just come out with it.
All right. Looks like we good over here. Got the audio levels right. I ain't about to fight with you. Let's see. Got audio levels right. I'm loud. Let's see if you loud, Theda.
I don't know. Am I loud? I feel like I'm never as loud as you and Petra.
I'm a loud person though, so I get that.
I'm not, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Why?
Alright. Can you hear me now?
Oh, I'm paying. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Boom, boom.
I'm not paying $20 for you, Cincy. Get out of here.
Yeah.
People be killing.
All right, so we should be good here.
Brand new prices for news for you. My ex-boyfriend's little brother did this like digital photo thing.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah.
Come follow.
What is that?
A digital photograph.
I mean.
I'm like trying.
You said a digital photograph.
I'm reading
like
it.
Every photo we've taken is a digital photograph.
Let's record. I'm sick of y'all shit.
You use film?
I gotta
you got a film camera?
Come on, let's go.
I gotta be here by 9:45, 10 o'clock.
You gotta do what?
I gotta be out of here because I'm on a boob clock. Even though I got the baby, I'll be tired.
What?
I need to leave here by 10.
That doesn't mean
that
doesn't mean that you have to. That doesn't mean you have to speak louder, man.
She acting light skinned.
What you said.
I gotta be home. I don't know what part of I need to be out of here by 9:45. All right, let's go.
Hold on, wait a minute. She getting aggressive today.
I'm about to be sleep deprived. Do y'all know what sleep deprived means?
She been out all day.
She out here in front of her friends and everything.
Right,
she's
showing out.
Y'all crazy as hell. Y'all know that I'm the same way when
out here in front of your out here in front of your little friends. They ain't gonna do.
I ain't one of your little friends. Let me try to show up in front of your little friends.
There was a meme that was out. It says things I learned from my mom that I'm not. I'm not one of her little friends.
Word up.
I'm not Boo Boo the Fool.
Yo, there was a meme where like the lady was like,
"Who is Boo Boo the Fool?
I ain't got McDonald's money. Do you got McDonald's money?" And then there was one was like, "Oh, Johnny has 7 apples, and if he gives Lucy 3, how many apples does he had?" And the boy was like, 3. And Johnny had 7 apples. I was like, that's fucking me.
It was the one about
with the puppet. Yeah.
Nah, you might well come on over. Come on over. You on this podcast today?
Come on.
Just bring up to the middle. Y'all share that mic.
Oh, you about to hear?
Yeah, y'all just gonna share a mic together.
Yeah.
You come over here in this corner over there.
Don't share. I don't like sharing shit with her.
Fucking bitch.
Alright, come on. Come on. All right, ready?
You gotta get up against the wall so you can talk in the mic together.
Hurry up. And you know your legs is mad little. You probably need help. She probably can't touch the floor.
Petra, you are on.
You ain't that much taller than the girl.
Somebody get this girl a nap.
Alright, this is the only shortest person. Well, one of my only shortest.
Somebody get her a
Everybody else is
nap.
mad tall, so I gotta get on her.
Let me see if this side works the same way. So actually, y'all can go like that, and you just talk on one side, she talk on the other side.
Don't get too close. Fist away. Okay.
Hey, talk on that side real quick.
Hello.
You gotta talk into the mic.
Oh yeah, you good.
You need high level memo to understand.
Because you ain't talking to no mics recently. But anyway, I didn't say that.
You talking about me?
Huh? What happened?
All y'all do is talk.
Mama, what'd you say?
Nothing. I'm about to go home.
You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the
I know when I'm not wanted. All right.
You always want, sweetheart.
Yeah, stop your noise.
So,
You taking this shit out?
Never. I'm keeping it in forever. All right. That's when I'm taking it out.
Taking what out?
I can see your braids.
Yeah, they're coming undone. They started coming undone quick. I was upset by that, but it's whatever.
Because your hair is so
How
thick.
much you pay?
$170.
Yeah, I'll do that again.
You don't do it again.
You go to Graf and get the girl from Graf to do it.
I don't know the girl from Graf.
Braids by neck.
You know how far Grafenville is from here?
Man.
It's a ways.
Okay,
It's the amount of money you put in gas about the same amount as your hair.
I'll have to go to Graf because Lottie gonna play in Graf, but let me show you her work.
I'm sure she does great work.
Yeah.
I don't care about her work.
I'm
You
getting.
go to Stuttgart.
Who went to Stuttgart?
Remember when she was starting about me?
Bruh, nobody was.
The weekend of my birthday? David.
I'm so tired.
Reminder.
I am so tired of the both of
What did I do?
y'all.
Come on in.
What did I do?
Tell her what she did on my birthday.
Thank you, Alicia.
Who did what on whose birthday?
Nobody did anything.
She is fucking bomb. Remember she left to go to Stuttgart to Thought for the weekend.
This is pretty.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I remember that now. I had to think about it. Like, wait, what are we talking about?
So my friend has a friend that lives in Stuttgart, and there was a food festival that weekend. And I went with my friend to go to the food festival.
Ask her where she slept at. Where'd you sleep at?
I slept in a bed by myself.
In whose house?
My friend's house.
What's his name?
Doesn't matter.
It ain't got spare bedrooms. Men got furniture in one bedroom. That other bedroom empty. It might have a futon.
No.
I was like that. I'm not gonna lie. When I first I bought furniture when my wife came to visit me in Dallas. Like I had a bedroom set and I had a living room set. When she came, I bought more furniture.
What?
You know we're recording now. You still gotta talk in the mics.
He had a spare bedroom
we're
recording. We just gonna cut all this up and just work it the way we work it.
He had a spare bedroom with a bed in it. This one I slept in, and my friend slept in his bed, and he slept on the couch because he's a gentleman.
He ended up on the couch.
Anyway, let's talk about something else because y'all nigga.
What the hell? What was that?
It was me saying the N-word, but I bleeped it a little bit.
Oh, we need to get one of those things.
What do y'all feel about the N-word? How y'all feel about the N-word?
Take a picture, man. It'll last longer. Hit the gas on them. Hit a dance on them. Take no chance on them. Get the cash on them. Flip it fast on them. Take off the mask on them. Show the world.
I don't know.
I don't want a white person using the N-word.
You don't want a white person using it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I get that.
I don't really use it too often either.
I use it for emphasis.
Yeah.
Like you need to know I'm serious.
Serious, yeah.
Like I said what I said. Beep. And I ain't gonna say it again.
Beep.
Alright, people. What's going on? It's your people. It's your boy D Linson. We coming at you with the Culture Club. It used to be called For the Culture, but it's still the Culture Club now. And with me, I have Miss
ThedaNyree
and Miss
Petra Sherbin Fox.
And yo, guess what? We got a guest here with us today.
We have a special guest.
A special guest.
She's my best friend of like mad years.
Hey.
Come on in. Go ahead and say who you are.
Hello. And who are you?
Alicia, you sound so sweet.
She's my bestie from forever ago.
Well, now I want my bestie to come in and do the podcast.
Ma'am.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, guys. It's always something with ThedaNyree. Can never. Wow, bro. She's gonna choke on water, guys. We're not going to the hospital today, so don't start.
You said choking.
How y'all been? How's everybody been? I ain't seen you guys in mad long.
We've been good, y'all. I want everybody that's listening right now to know that we are really friends in real life. And we realize this.
But pause. Y'all hear how they treat me, right?
Wow.
Y'all hear this? Y'all hear it firsthand.
You know when you have like a little sister?
Right, that you didn't want really, but you like her anyway?
Nah, I wanted this one. Like, this is what you want. Like, this is like your buddy little sister, you know what I mean? Like, you just take with you everywhere. Like, that's that little sister. That's who you are. You like that little sister.
That you didn't want. Petra, you are literal trash.
But you know, what?
Like, literal.
Oh, wait, what'd you say, Alicia? What'd you say, Alicia?
She is.
What y'all not going to do is gang up on me, okay?
Oh, but it's cool for y'all to gang up on me.
Well, because, you know, that's what we do.
Oh, all right.
No, I gang up on anybody. I don't care. Y'all can gang up me all you want, but y'all know I got a quick mouth.
Yeah, that's also true.
It is my goal. I still like Theda. She's at my house at least once or twice a week. 3 times a week.
Maybe, yeah, 2-3 times a week. Yeah.
And she bullies me into making taco pizza, which I haven't.
But you still haven't made the taco pizza.
Because I don't want to be bullied.
Can we have taco pizza this week?
What? Nah.
Sounds good.
It wasn't on my menu.
Yo, we having taco pizza this week, right?
Wow,
so Petra's gonna make it.
Pizza at Petra's. David's bringing the beer.
Probably.
I'm bringing the smiles.
And I'm bringing
the taco pizza.
Nah, wow.
The kids.
I got mad kids, guys. Y'all, if anybody needs a kid, I got you in that area. 95 of them.
Y'all don't got that many.
David, what you been up to? I haven't seen David in a while.
I just been working.
I
just been working, trying to get some things working, see things popping off, see how things are gonna work out between my music. Got back on my music thing. Got back on. Well, I never left photography, so I'm still doing that. Working on a couple shows right now. Ooh. Can't talk about it, but I'm working on a couple shows right now, trying to get those picked up and taken off, trying to do some writing. Just got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, and I attended one of David's photography. Well, it wasn't a photography class, but it was like about like learning the camera and how to like dim the lighting, and it was a really good course. Unfortunately, I had to leave early, but it was very informative.
She always leaves early. Anyway, David.
Yo.
So I know that I had a few friends that needed some photography lessons, so I kind of just said, David, can you teach a class? Teach a class. You're gonna be really good at it.
No, he was. Well, I used to teach a class, so then I stopped doing it. But now I'm getting back into it for real with the workshops and everything. Just gonna have some fun with it because I got some people I know that I'm gonna be able to utilize in the future. Let's say that I meet you now, we start working together now, and then I just so happen to be in Memphis. And one of you are there, then I can work with you on something else I got going on there. Cause I travel a lot, so I want to be able to do everything I can all over the world without having to worry about trying to find and pay for all brand new people.
You're always connected. David is very well connected.
Yes,
I try to be.
But yes, so I'm really happy that took off. I was just like, David.
Yeah, it was a good course.
And I had an event, and the person that I had introduced David to, she started doing her photography. She's, learning and stuff.
She's really
and
good.
She's good. And she was like, I need some help. David! Here comes David to the event to help out.
Everybody knows there's a few people that I will always show up for. They always show up when they need me. They need me. These two here always. Anytime they need me, they know I got them. And there's a few other people. No, y'all know I'm gonna show up for my wife. Don't even act like that.
I mean,
don't even act like I know. I just saw the comment section get hot. It's like, you gonna show up for these two? You ain't gonna show up for your wife? Nah, I'm gonna show up for my wife no matter what time day. But
I would hope so.
Facts. But we ain't really been in the news like that, talking about the news. We ain't been here in a while, so we were just gonna sit back and actually just talk to y'all about some of the things going on. If something pops in our head, we'll talk about it. If not, then ask us.
I think a lot of our good conversation and good podcast is just us talking.
Yeah.
It's been much easier and a little bit more just flows better.
Do y'all want to talk about dating?
First, I actually had a question for y'all. Before we get into that, I wanted to ask y'all what y'all thought about Jay-Z. And the NFL and everything going on.
I think that we don't know everything. So it's hard for me to formulate an opinion. I don't really know the ins and outs. But I think Jay-Z is a smart man. And I think that he's not going to put himself in a position that's going to tarnish his reputation, his business endeavors, or his community. So I trust Jay-Z thus far. He seems to have made really good decisions thus far. So I'm going to just watch, see what happens.
What do you think?
I'm the same. I haven't always been a Jay-Z fan, considering I'm from New York. I was just, but I like how he's evolved as a person, and I think he's an impeccable businessman. I think if there's something that can be made, he's gonna make it work.
Alicia, how about you?
Agreed. I think he's
with who? Who's just gonna say agreed?
Both of them. I think that he definitely has something up his sleeve that he's working on.
Yeah.
And I think what we see is very surface level, and like Theda said, Theda, not saying wrong, said that it is, we don't know the ins and outs.
Right.
So he'll definitely work on something.
I agree. I think
just hire Cap.
No, I don't care about Cap, man. I'm tired of people like, yo, what about Cap? What about Cap? How about Cap? I actually got in an argument with my friend over this because we were talking about that.
I had to get David started.
Because, Cap just got 2 years of back pay.
Hey, come on, back pay.
He got 2 years of NFL back pay. Roger Goodell said that any NFL owner in the league could hire him if he wanted. First of all, the thing is this. I'm here for Cap. I back Cap. He protested, and you have to suffer the consequences of a protest.
Yeah. Absolutely understood.
And things changed. That's the biggest part. That things changed. You made a difference. You got $1 million contract with Nike. Then you turned around and got back pay from the NFL. You got a job or don't get a job. It don't matter to me. You made your difference. You made a point, and everything's working out. Back to Jay-Z. Everybody calling him a sellout. Everybody's trying to call him all this, that, and the third. But hey, check it. Everything that he did, none of it benefits him. Right. He doesn't need the money.
Right.
He got the money already. He doesn't need the money. But what he's doing is he is taking over the entertainment for the NFL.
But what people forget is that he's not a businessman. He's a businessman.
Yo, she been doing lyrics all day.
Oh my god.
I had to.
But that's facts though. But he is a businessman, and he also has another lyric saying that I can't help the poor if I am one.
Right. Which is true. He always puts himself in really good position.
Yeah. I think a lot of people. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think a lot of people need to like think about it as well, because if they were in that position and Robert Kraft, is that the dude's name?
Roger Goodell?
No, the Kraft dude.
Oh, Roger Kraft. He does.
Yeah. If Robert Kraft came up to them and offered them a job with millions of dollars on the line, I'm sure they're not going to walk away and say no.
Oh, no, you think about Roger Goodell.
Who? I don't know.
Yeah, Roger Goodell is the commissioner.
Whoever the guy is that offered Jay-Z the position.
Well, no, he didn't really offer it to him. They've been in talks. Right. Because here's the thing. Here's the way I see it anyway. Okay. I see that Roger Goodell and the NFL sees that they're going to have a large issue with the black population.
Oh, of course.
And they, like they did last year, even though everybody was watching the NFL, don't lie and say you weren't. Even though everybody was watching the NFL, they were publicly saying that they weren't watching the NFL. So
I wonder if the views dropped, because I didn't hear anything about that.
No, the views didn't drop.
They did.
It wasn't significant. If it was significant, we would have been on everybody.
The games were still packed. It doesn't matter if the views dropped or not. The stadiums were still packed.
So they're still making money.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So I think that he's like, so Jay-Z and them came together. But the thing is that they're going to have to build a entertainment branch near every team. Mm-hmm. That is going to put jobs for people around every team. So he's creating jobs for our people. He is putting a black person in the room where we've been arguing about ever since. Let's go back. Let's go back to H&M when H&M did the coolest monkey in the jungle or something like that.
Yeah.
We said, why were there no black people in the room?
Yeah.
To approve this or disapprove. But now he's in the room and people want to be like, yo, you selling out. No, he's doing what we told him we wanted him to do in the first place.
Yeah. But you know how people are. You gotta find something wrong with something.
You can't.
And at the end of the day, you're gonna come. If it was anybody else's situation or position, you're gonna have an opinion on it. Yeah. So if we're gonna look for something to be upset about, angry about, this is the wrong shit to be talking about.
Yeah, that's the world of social media, though. Everybody, you have to be contentious.
Has an opinion about everything that everybody's doing.
Right. And it's not even an opinion, because most people just want to be contentious.
They just want
so they do something. Because that gets them likes, that gets them retweets, views. That gets them all these different things, just because you are come up with the best
joke.
The thing is that not for nothing, if people not looking at it from a business perspective, don't have the knowledge to be able to look at it from a business perspective, that's their business and that's just their fault. Right. At the end of the day, when you sit down and think about it, when he went and even did the Barclays Center in the heart of Brooklyn, probably not the prime location. It is not the prime location for a huge ass stadium. However, it made thousands and thousands of jobs. That's what Brooklyn needed. Yeah. So, and it's in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
They had that big thing about they were talking about how they're gonna have to displace families to build it. They did, but they only displaced 1%.
And not for nothing, Brooklyn is big enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take a person out of Flatbush, but there's a lot of other places for you to go.
Yeah. Nicer areas. They got put in nicer areas.
Because now the real estate.
They were being relocated.
Yeah. The real estate in Brooklyn in that area has quadrupled simply because of the Barclays Center. Yep. You know, so, and that was a controversial issue. Him buying the Brooklyn Nets, controversial issues, but you're looking at, again, at a surface level. When you're looking at the doc, this is a business. At the end of the day, the bottom line is what's most important. And how you're going to improve other people's lives. You're going to have to, it's going to be what's worse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What we're going to have to sacrifice here.
I love the fact that he's part of, he has a team in the NBA.
Yep.
Then he turns around and now he's over entertainment for the NFL. Yeah. What's next? Baseball?
You never know. He got his hands out.
But doesn't he have clients?
Oh yeah, he has baseball clients.
He manages clients from baseball, so I don't see him not venturing.
I just can't.
What's LeBron's boy's name? That the agent.
Crap. Is it? It's not Cash. Is it?
Whatever.
Yeah.
But doesn't he work for his company? Doesn't he work for Jay-Z's company?
Oh, I don't know.
Because he's the one that managed. He's
LeBron's agent.
LeBron's agent. KD's agent. I think he just picked up AD. So but they're trying to block him now
because he doesn't have a bachelor's degree.
That's right.
Rich Paul. It's Rich Paul.
Yeah, Rich Paul. Yeah.
Yes, Rich Paul.
See, I was close. I said Cash.
That's ridiculous. Rich and Cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just because now they're just reaching.
It's
where can I reach to try?
It's any way to.
You're getting too much business.
Yeah,
there's like a bazillion players.
Yeah, but he's still the one of the most powerful men in the game.
It doesn't matter. You think LeBron James ain't about to be washed soon, and there's gonna be another one that's gonna take his place and probably do more than he does? Let's be. And
he's gonna have. And if this is the thing,
it doesn't negate what he's done. I'm just saying. There's gonna be another one.
LeBron is just gonna do this though. LeBron is still LeBron. So let's say this. So if Michael Jordan offered any young player his agent, they're gonna go to him.
Absolutely.
If LeBron does the same thing, they're gonna go to him. So no matter who LeBron said, hey, I want him, I want Zion, I want whatever his name, I can't think of his name right, Jay, whatever his name, the new guy that just got into the league. I want them on my label or in my agency. They're gonna go because it's LeBron and it's Jay-Z. I mean, who's not gonna do that?
Right. So you think it has something to do with it being a young black guy?
Oh, that's why they're mad.
Okay.
They're mad about that. Yeah. They're mad because he has no degree, but he has some of the most powerful players in the game.
But I feel like if he's obviously doing something right, and if I were a young athlete, don't know nothing, I would want someone that has experience over someone who just has a degree.
It's good that you look like me too.
Right. That does help.
Yeah.
That's just what it comes down to. We're in these industries where, and it says. It sounds bad, but it's like we find a black person or two black people, and we kind of gravitate towards them because they kind of understand our struggle, but they're on the same path. We have
an unspoken understanding.
And it's a level head. So let's just propel forward. And not to say a white person won't do that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you see a black person, like if I see Theda doing something, and even in my business, if I see another black person trying to do something, I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna invest in your business. Not because I don't believe that white people are able to give me the same product, but I want us all to win. And at the end of the day, we're not positioned in the same positions or in the same places that other people are in.
There's like a built-in like basic level of trust with, I think I'll speak for myself, amongst like other black people. Like if I walk into a new squadron or whatever, and I have a black commander or whatever, I automatically have this basic level of trust with them.
It's like an ease.
Yes.
But you know what?
Yes.
Until they mess it up.
Have y'all seen Free Me?
No.
Okay.
Free who?
Free Me, the Amazon documentary. No. The way I was hurt because it was a black judge.
A black judge that did him like that? Yeah.
Black cops.
Yeah.
I was just like...
They were trying to make an example.
And the thing is, I don't even think it was so much as an example. I think it's just, you know what? Almost like jealous and envy. Not necessarily, I want to see, I'm going to be also fighting crime. I don't care if he's black, white, Chinese, Spanish, or whatever. I think it was like, wow, after all of these hurdles that he's had, he's still, doing more than I would have wanted him to do. Oh, you're not living your life as what I would think, so I'm going to extend your probation another 4 years. You literally try to handcuff it. He was shackled to Philly.
Yeah.
Like, 11 years for a crime that was obvious that he didn't commit.
Right. And
you get what I'm saying? So,
I completely understand. Now, let me play a little devil's advocate like always. So, with that, you also gotta look at what people are doing. I'm not saying anybody's right in this. I'm not saying they're right in this, but I see what they were doing. They were trying to say, like, so they're in these positions that they have had to walk a certain path in. They had to walk straight and narrow on this certain path in. They had to fight for everything they've done. He's a black judge. Can you imagine what it's like in Philadelphia for a black man to become a judge?
It's a black woman.
Black woman. For a black woman to become a woman. I mean, I was thinking about the New York guy.
Yeah.
But a black woman to become a judge in New York. Then can you imagine the things she went through? And so she's like, oh, so you telling me that you just rap a little bit and then this, that, and the third, and you automatically should be able to get all this, that, and the third?
But look
so I get the mindset, but the way you went about it is wrong.
Let me say something. If you have an opportunity to take a black man out of the hood, allow him to be a personal, a positive figure in these kids' lives. You have his son outside of the damn courtroom saying free Meek. First of all, I think it's a certain level of humanness that you're just like, this is ridiculous.
Right, but Meek Mill has not always been a positive role model in the community.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But you know what? If you see somebody trying to go in the progressive motion,
I agree.
At least assist them. Because not for nothing, I'm sure there's a lot of people that's on parole that's going places that ain't supposed to be there. He had a flight that he missed. So he couldn't get to where he was going. He ended up driving there, got pulled over, not where he's supposed to be, probation violation. I mean, like things like this.
That's a little iffy with me though.
Okay,
that's the part because you Meek Mill. We've all seen Meek Mill charter a plane from Philly to LA in a day.
And apparently he has to also document every single tour as it comes. If there's some inclement weather and you're not able to fly out of New York, he was not allowed to drive.
Right.
To get to his next location. Now I understand there's rules and regulations, right? But you also, again, you have to make it.
There's protocols in place for him, though. There's phone calls he could have made.
I'm not certain whether he did or he didn't because I wasn't discussing there. It was kind of like, when you're trying to paint a story, you're trying to paint it in a certain light. But on the grand scheme of things, just looking at the fact that we have it was a team of black people. It was one of the officers was black. He admitted and said did not feel like he was being threatened by Meek Mill. He said this, and he now he's on the series and says that I wasn't threatened by him. I didn't think he had a gun at all. So now it's like, so what are we doing here?
Right now, I don't agree with how they treated me. Free Meek, everything else. I agree with that completely. And I agree with how Jay-Z handled it. I agree with the way everything happened.
Because now you got to get people in high places. Because you feel alone.
Now, the thing is that what I don't like is when our people, black people, I'm talking to y'all, when our people get to these levels, get to these places to where they have power and they stop looking down at the person below.
Correct. Absolutely.
I hate that. If you get to one step, you're supposed to reach down and grab the next person up. Yeah. As you move up, you keep grabbing.
Keep pulling them up. Yeah.
But we're kind of. It's almost like I can't find the word. We're conditioned
to not help the person
because there was almost like a crabs in a barrel type of mentality, like a crabs in a barrel mentality.
Because people have this mindset I think I was talking to somebody recently, and they have a mindset where like, oh, I had to struggle to get it. Well, then you got to struggle to get it too.
I don't like that.
But why would you want somebody to go through what you went through? Like, I never want anyone to go through what I had to go through to get where I'm at today.
So let me just give you. I can play devil advocate for that, right? So I'm not. If I become a millionaire, I'm not giving Elijah $1 million.
I wouldn't expect you to. But I would expect you to give him the tools to make $1 million.
That's different. So I think sometimes we confuse getting something as it being something material. Mm-hmm. Whereas if we're being taught lessons and given tools and all of that, that is most important. Mm-hmm. And like I always reference my son because you guys know that's a very big part of my life. I try to I don't make decisions for him. I try to guide him to be able to make his own decisions. Mm-hmm. So we are giving them powerful tools by doing that. However, sometimes as a people, we don't see the value in that. Yeah. We see the value in what can I get that I could touch that's tangible? Whereas I'm telling you, I'm going to teach you how to fish. I need you to come and learn how to fish. I'm not going to be giving you the fish. You know what I'm saying? So, and it really comes down to, do I feel like if I bring Theda up, what if she goes beyond me? We always look at like, oh, well, she's my spot. And you know what? Not for nothing. If I've helped her to get above me, my job is done. Because at the end of the day, I was a part of that process. I'm still reaping the benefits as far as my legacy is concerned. Right. Because when Theda goes and talks and they ask her, well, how did you learn how to knit? Petra taught me how to knit. She gave me my first crochet needle, or she sat down and she taught me. I had all the supplies and she taught me how to do it. She wasn't really she didn't like to knit. She was good at it, but I like it more. So I'm now, a professional knitter, and she's just home with her mad kids. You get what I'm saying? So, but what I've given her is a powerful tool, and that's, I think we lose that in translation. That's not important. That is most important. Because I can give you 10 fish, but you're gonna eat them and
be hungry
and
again.
That's it. And be hungry. You know what I'm saying? But if I teach you how to fish, whenever you get hungry, or you don't even allow yourself to get hungry, you're outside every day,
right?
Catching a fish.
Here's the question. Then that brings up the question of reparations.
Okay.
Wow. Everybody kind of get. What do y'all think about it? What do y'all think about reparations? Do you think it'll ever happen?
I think it's hard to regulate something like that because I don't think it'll ever happen because slavery impacted it impacted I can't even think of a number of how many people it impacted, and because we all came from a large majority of African or Americans came from an African bloodline. Like, how do you even track that? It's like something that's hard to.
Well, that's where the DNA test is going to end up coming in real strong.
But like, what defines
That's going to come down to Congress. They're going to have to sit down in the meeting. Going to have to come up with all these different things. But here's my thing. I think that reparations really should look like affirmative action 2.0, to where don't give me money, don't give me land, give me a space where I have an opportunity to do something. So set aside this many jobs, this many scholarships, this thing for people who came from this heritage.
Correct.
Give me that. I have to prove it. I have to go do this. I have to go do that. But give me that line, so that if I want to go to Penn State, and I can't afford it, then I don't have to go out and get $200,000 worth of loans, because there is something in place for me.
I thought they had scholarship programs and things like that.
I mean, they do, but. So so I'm not, this isn't facts, everybody. I'm going off of things that I've heard, things that I've been a part of. I don't know the stats on it. I don't know the actual numbers. But I have seen people use the affirmative action scholarships as a white individual going to a HBCU. I have seen that. I've seen there's Asians that go to different schools. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that it needs to be set up in place that the people who built this country have a leg up somewhere.
Right.
We have been because it's not that long ago Jim Crow was alive and well.
Come on, somebody.
In my parents' lifetime.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. This is Black Breastfeeding Week, guys. Okay. August 25th to August 30th or 31st. And our breast milk was used to feed
white babies,
our slave masters' children. Okay. So half of our what we have done for this economy and what we have done to build this land goes so far as to being the nutrition that your child has eaten. You hear me? Okay. Let's just keep that. Let's just say it for what it is. Now, I believe that if it's a white person getting an HBCU scholarship, that's not necessarily giving us. It's not setting us up. So it needs to be very, very detailed in the fact that this amount of money, this fund, this land, these jobs, whatever it is for this specific person, not for them to be able to use it at a specific place.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Go ahead.
All right, so I was clearly not around when affirmative action was first implemented.
You were, but
you were the seed.
Oh, okay.
Well. You were the seed. She was young.
But I just remember reading. I took a class a few years ago, and just reading. There was it offered it didn't offer, but it created a lot of tension.
It did,
and I just don't want that to happen again.
It's going to happen regardless. This is the thing. If any type of reparations that happens, it will cause tension because there is a large base in our country that has contention with that. There's a large base in the country that says that, oh, you're black and we don't really care for you. And no matter what you do, we're not going to care for it. No matter what is set up for you, we're not going to care for it. But then there's another group of people who are like, they don't even know the struggle that black people have gone through. They don't, and then they're going to be like, okay, so why are they getting something special?
Well, that always happens. Like, I've heard, back to black breastfeeding. Why do black people need black breastfeeding leave? You know why? Because you guys are not in touch with the infant mortality rate and the reasons why black people are not subject. They don't have the resources, the knowledge, the support that other communities have. Why is the black maternal mortality rate so much higher? Why is obesity so much higher? Why is breast cancer so much higher? Why are these things happening? Type 2 diabetes. Why are these things happening? And not realizing that there is a need for this. Instead of looking at well, why do they need it? What is the need that hasn't been met?
Right. Why have they created these things?
Yeah. Exactly, because there's something is wrong. Statistics are telling us. I haven't seen a black lactation counselor before here. I've never seen it. I became one just so I'm able to support women of color. You get what I'm saying? So, but it comes down to it's always like, instead of saying there's obviously a need for this, let me see how I can contribute to this movement, white, black, Chinese, Spanish, whatever you are. How can I support this particular cause? It comes down to what is the need. the numbers show there's a need. And that's in everything, that there is a black.
I think that we are really, even as black people, we try to separate ourselves a lot. Yeah. Because I think we had this conversation before. I do not have one white friend.
Oh yeah, we have.
I don't have
Hello, can y'all please acknowledge?
These are the white friends.
No, they're not.
I'm half white. She's half white. So we're friend. One white person.
We are one.
And one white person and one black person.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
No. And depending on the day, she's the white one and I'm the black one.
But either way, what I'm saying is that I don't have anybody who I would consider historically white as a friend. I have one associate that his name is Dave Mercer. Shout out to Dave Mercer. You talk about Dave. He's a musician that we used to travel and play together. Yeah. But that's the only white friend I haven't had a white friend since I lived in LA.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Why do you, because your best friend is white. Why do you feel that you don't have any white friends?
I don't have any white friends for the fact that I have not been in a space for me to make white friends. Okay. I don't hang out in places where I would meet white people really. My associates that I meet that are white are always from music. Mm-hmm. They're always in photography and things like that. We don't go to the same parties, we don't go to the same clubs, we don't go to the same churches, I've never really been in a space where I chose to hang out with certain people afterwards.
But I think also white people get a rap for that. Like if they're the only ones in the black party, like what you do in the black party. So
I've never had a problem with it. Like
I don't think it's a problem that we have.
Yeah.
I think it's something
there's people that do have
people that are like, what you doing in here? Which isn't really helping the cause.
At all.
Trying to figure out how we can come to a common ground. If a person likes drop it like it's hot, let the girl drop it like it's hot. What's the problem? Mm-hmm. But it will come down to why she drop it like it's hot like that. It gets catty and it's not necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, and it also comes down to why there is such a great divide.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think I was listening to a podcast earlier this week, and one of the individuals said on it that integration was the worst thing that happened to the black community. Whoa. They said integration was the worst thing that happened to the black community.
Okay, what's the?
Because there's no city. Every city has a Chinatown or an Asian area. Mm-hmm. Every major city has an Asian area. Mm-hmm. Usually called Chinatown, even though everybody's there not.
Or
Chinese.
Little Italy, they got
Italian areas. Yeah. There's even Polish areas, Dutch areas, Jewish areas,
Russian areas, Brighton Beach, Brooklyn.
All these different areas that have these different groups, but we don't ever have
something that's our own.
Right, we don't have Blacktown. We don't have that. What we have is the hood because that's where we had to live. And even then, we don't have any of our own stores. We don't have any of our own businesses in those towns. So they say that integration was the worst thing that happened to us because it took away our identity.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I can see that.
Now, can you imagine if integration, or if it was done differently to where, I don't even know how to really even say it, but can you imagine if we had like Black Wall Street or a Black Town or a Black something like that?
So, so it's funny. So, and it might not be necessarily, and this is also with us not having property value and things like that, but there's a group, I know in New York, it's called Melanin Wall Street. Mm-hmm. And there's a bunch of stockbrokers, the people that are just into financial wealth and kind of providing resources for the black community to achieve those things. And that's a new thing. So like we're kind of just coming into now, we're not owning property per se, but we're creating groups.
Right. And why is that? Why is that we're doing that now? It's because that it's only been about 80 years that we've had to be able to do these things. So when the Jewish community first moved here, they didn't have that. They got to a place to where they became a group and they started that up. It might have been 80 years after they got here. It might, or not here, but what I mean, or got to the United States. And all these different groups, they didn't get to start off that way, but since they weren't integrated into the rest of the communities, then they were able to build up their own.
Let me ask you this though. Do you think that they didn't have to go through integration the way we did because
the Asian community did?
The Asian community?
Yeah, because they weren't even allowed to become citizens until a law was passed. They said they were citizens. They couldn't own land. They couldn't own businesses.
Okay, well,
they are the only individuals that had a law against them saying that since you are Asian, you will never be a citizen until it was abolished.
So let's just put this out there. Black people are not the most kumbaya-ish.
No.
Not at all.
Okay? So where you see Mexicans, let me tell you something. They be a one-bedroom apartment, but there's 70 persons living in there.
You're saying black people. You got to break that down, though. You got to break that down to African Americans because you can't say black people. Because I know people from Nigeria. I know people from Ghana. I know people who they will have their whole family.
This is true.
They'll keep sending back their family.
Yes, and that's true. And that's I think more of a cultural thing, which I guess brings us to another point of it. There's so much different
because of slavery, because of Jim Crow. We were pitted against each other,
right? So, and now it's like, now that we have more, and I think the generation that we're in now and where we are now as people in general, we have so much more, we have so many resources and opportunities, and now to know better. You get what I'm saying?
We're still children.
But because we're still trying to get over our generational traumas.
That's what I'm saying. We're children.
Yeah, so we are trying to work them out. So now, as we are creating groups like Melanin on Wall Street and all of these other black therapy for black girls and things like that is really focusing on our community and bettering our community. Let's talk about this in 10 years and see how this progresses, because we literally have had to start from infancy in an era that's already developed.
Where everybody else is running and
there's running and sprinting, and we're still trying to figure out how to crawl.
Because while they took off, we were the ones holding their blocks for them.
Right. So you guys had a one-up, and now when we're looking down for our, we ain't got that. We don't have that opportunity, or we're not in that position of power.
Now, so talking about the different races, talking about the segregation, integration, everything, I have never had a problem with interracial dating.
I don't have a problem with interracial dating, but my issue is, like who you like, but why do you have to down talk
facts
black women? Like, if you're a black dude and you like women who are not black, okay, then that's fine, but don't talk shit about black women.
Right.
So, and Alicia will be able to be involved in this a bit more. Her parents been married for a bazillion years, black and white.
A bazillion years.
My parents were not married for long, but we are both very versed on interracial dating. And I think for me, as a woman of color, and that's how I identify myself, I was listening to a podcast or not a podcast, maybe I was reading a book today, and I suffered from identity crisis when I was younger because I spoke Russian as my first language. That was weird. You're around a whole bunch of black people, but you speak Russian. You don't even speak English. You kind of look white. You got freckles, but you got really dark curly hair. It's like, what are you exactly? And as I've gotten older, I've learned to identify, and I understood my dad always told me, like, you're special. Like, you don't have to necessarily identify with any one or two races.
Right.
You can check every box. I check the other box, or I check every single box. It depends on what options are available to me.
If I'm allowed to check more than one, I check more than one. If I'm allowed only one, I pick other.
Correct. So
I used to test it. I used to put white on it. On tests, I used to put white.
Because at the end of the day, what they're using is statistical data for.
That was in Dear White People on the Netflix series.
The new one, the new season, or
I
haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so
I was thinking first episode, and it's weird already. It's starting off weird.
So I feel like it's important to. I think what happens is people will date other races and not acknowledge the other races' difficulty or struggles. Let's not act like you're not dating a black woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I understand the thought or the saying, I don't see color. That's bullshit. That's don't play with me, because at the end of the day, I'm not asking for you to look at me and see a white person or no color. I'm asking you to look at me as a person and understand that at the end of the day, things are not equal for me because of my color. And I don't want you to try to, fix my world, but I want you to acknowledge that. I think it's important that we teach our children to also acknowledge that. But in the sense of, when black men speak about women in this angry and nasty manner, and
it ain't just men.
It's not. So I'm just saying
that out there. It's not just men.
I'm just saying men. Because I'm just using this particular example, or anybody. So a black woman bashes the black man. It comes from their own personal hurt that they have not been able to resolve. Right. Not to say that that's okay, but that just goes to show how much growth that person has to do internally. And as an educated person, and as a person that's a little bit in tune with people's makeup and trying to really understand the whys and the hows, I've been able to kind of look at it a little bit deeper. But for us who hear that, that's hurtful. It's hurtful to hear that you say that you don't want to talk to me or you don't want to date me because I'm black and I'm automatically angry. I have had to work hard and I've had to fight. And if I find somebody that comes into my life and wants to make my life easier and allows me to, at that point, really indulge in who I am, which is the journey I have been blessed to be on now, that's a powerful place to be. Mm-hmm. But 5 years ago, when it was I have to survive, you can't get mad at me, because the same thing that you don't like about me is the same thing that you'll love about me.
Yeah.
Right. You get what I'm saying? It's one of those double-edged swords. You can't love a woman who can make, orange juice out of lemons and then get mad because she makes orange juice out of lemons. You can't do that. Right. You either gotta love the, it comes with
anybody else not get that?
I got the reference.
It comes.
I'm rough with that one.
It comes with the good and the bad. Yeah. It comes with the good and the bad. And at the end of the day, if you're gonna love a person in their,
you have to love them in their worst moments and
at their
best moments.
Also, women, just because that dude ain't 6'2".
Sir, you know what? And let me be real frank. I'm a married woman, but I have a problem with one thing. Maybe Theda can help me because she's single, guys.
Girls,
guys, everybody.
I was gonna say something that alone.
Hey, let's carry on. Let's talk about the fact that we're asking for something from somebody that we're not even able to give to them on our own.
Come on, somebody.
Let's talk about that. Because as a woman, I'm not entitled to a man who's 6'5", 750 credit score or 800 preferably, size 12 feet, okay, dresses immaculate, has a banging job 9 to 5.
Y'all. Let me. I should maybe explain to y'all who Petra's husband is.
Oh God! I'm like, so I wasn't attracted to him because he was all of those things.
She just described Jason.
Yes.
She really did describe Jason.
Okay, well his credit score wasn't 750 when I married him, okay, or when we got together. But then that's a different story. But yes, I did describe my husband. Sorry guys, but I can't do that and not be able to come with the fact that when you're having your difficult days and you're having emotional distresses, that I can't work you through those things, right? I can't do that. I can't have a 500 credit score and expect you to have an 800 credit score. Right. Let's be serious here. Women, we have to step it up. We have to come with something. We can't come to the table empty-handed and expect the man to do everything for us. And I think that also comes with the climate of the world. It's very, very it's empty. There's really just no substance. Yeah. So what happens is that we're dumbing ourselves down. And I think why I struggle with dating in general was I refused to play small. I wasn't going to be small to make you feel good.
Yeah. And I think that now here's what my problem is. I don't think that we have an issue with dumbing down or the world or people not really having those interests anymore. I think the problem is that people are looking in the wrong places for those interests.
Correct.
Because you can definitely find everything you're looking for. Everything
like this. Yeah. You want somebody with a 700 credit score, a good job, or whatever it is, but you're going out to the nightclub to find that person instead of you going to a business venture.
Yeah. I told y'all how you can find it. Like, if I was looking for something, I go to Walmart. See, it depends on the section I wanted you to be able to do. If you could cook, I'm going to the food section. If I need somebody that I know that can work on cars, I'm going to the car section. If I need Walmart got everything.
Oh my God.
But you know what?
I'm not gonna lie. I dated one. I did meet a woman in Walmart that I ended up dating. I ain't gonna say her name on the podcast.
Don't say it.
Can I get some words in? Can I get some words in?
That was the white one. One of the white women.
But back to my original question. I'm sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead.
Back to my original question. I think my dad did a really good job at protecting my mom. And my dad was white. He told me a story. They were living in East Orange, New Jersey. It was a predominantly
white neighborhood.
No, it was a predominantly white neighborhood.
Not East Orange.
Yeah, back in them days, it was a predominantly white area. And my dad had asked for I forget. Maybe it was a black area. I forget. So he went to the butcher and he was like, "Can I get some chicken cutlets?" And the butcher was like, "These people don't eat chicken cutlets." I think before my dad, he could finish his sentence, my dad got escorted out to the supermarket because he said, "These people," he was like, "Jackie." And he was like, "You mean these people?" And just whole ass on him. And my dad stayed fighting. So, but
he's Russian.
Yeah, and he was a boxer. But anyway, so all of these things.
Russian is like the scary, on TV, like you always hear the Russian accents. Like
they always the scary ones. Cause like you part of the mob or not? No, but so he definitely was. He definitely was very protective of that. And I think even then, when our parents got together in the 80s, it was just like a little bit more difficult to get over these barriers. But now as we gotten older, They say the black woman is the most unprotected person on this planet, and I don't think there's nothing that holds more true than that statement.
All right, so I'm gonna speak before you. No, nope. Because y'all gonna keep going back and forth, and I'm not gonna get no words in. Okay. So, I was recently talking to a friend of mine, and she's mixed race. She is half white, quarter black, quarter Japanese. And she was asking me if I've ever dated outside my race, which I haven't. I have never dated anyone outside my race. And she asked me why, and I was like, because I automatically assume that other races aren't attracted to me, because black men aren't even, majority of the time, aren't attracted to black women. And she was like, so if you see a guy that you think he's attractive, would you ever approach him? I'm like, no, because I have to ask myself, does he like black women? And I don't know any other race of women that think that. I don't know white women that think, oh, does he like white women or Asian women? You know what I'm saying? I don't know any other race that thinks that way. And it's really sad.
I don't know.
That's big. That's actually a big thing because it happens in a lot of races.
Yeah, I don't.
Especially nowadays.
Especially white women dating black men. I like black men. I'm not sure if he likes white women. I mean, I think that's a question.
I don't think that as a white. I think a lot of white women. I'm not gonna make blanket statements, but I think some white women have a superiority complex, and I don't think that thought ever runs through their mind. Does he like white women?
I don't think so either.
I don't think. I think that they think I'm white. He's gonna like me.
No, I do, because you know what? Not for nothing. Some of these white women ain't got no body. Okay, they ain't got no lips.
But they white, and a lot of black dudes think white is better. All they gotta do is be white.
But listen, see, I don't necessarily agree with that. And I think maybe because I've been around a lot of men, nobody in my family likes white women that I know of. Nobody is married to white women. I'm just thinking as something, because I also in the Jamaican and Caribbean heritage, that's not uncommon. You'll see black women with German women, or black men with German women.
Oh yeah,
right. So. I think that we have built a complex against white women in general because of our struggles with them personally, like our issues with them as women. I don't think that they're any more confident than the black woman. I don't think that they can walk into the room and maybe in a social setting.
I'm not saying that they're more confident. I'm saying I think that they have a superiority complex.
In the setting that you're talking about, you're speaking about your lack of confidence.
I don't know that's what I'm saying.
Well, you're saying I have to ask myself if the person's gonna like me because I'm a black woman. What about who you are as a woman? Why wouldn't he like you?
Because the first thing he's gonna see about me is my skin tone.
That doesn't matter. That really, I mean, for some it does, but for some it doesn't. I think we're making this a real big thing. I think women, yes, white women have a superiority complex in certain settings, absolutely. But I don't think that they don't have these same thoughts that we are going through. Because you know what? White women get cheated on too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They get ragged too. And they get left for black women too. That's not like, it's not an anomaly. You get what I'm saying? Whereas, they might feel like, oh, well, I'm more qualified, or because I'm white, I'm more likely to get the job. Yeah. But you ain't taking my man, or you ain't gonna sit and not only not taking my man, but you're not gonna sit here and say, I don't know. I wonder if he likes me. I wonder if he doesn't like me because I'm white. You know what I'm saying? My husband never dated, well, I can't say never, but he never was in a serious relationship with a black woman. I didn't feel threatened by that. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, for me, it comes down to this. This is who I am. So I bring it to the table. Who I am is what I am. If I could talk to you on the phone for hours and hours and hours, and we have a connection when I see you, maybe it's not a sexual connection, but we've built a baseline. And at that point, I'm so confident in who I am that I don't care whether you like me or not. I'm shooting my shot. I'm not an initiator, just saying. Okay. But my issue with not approaching a person is not because I don't think they're going to like me. It's do I really want to do this right now? Yeah. Am I into it? You know what I'm saying? Do I really want to be the aggressor or the person in pursuit? I don't got time for that. I don't got the attention span for that.
See, that's the thing. Like I said before, I never had white friends.
I wasn't done talking.
Oh, go ahead, finish talking.
I needed to add a comment to what you said earlier, Petra, about women wanting things and not offering them. I think that a lot of times women feel like, oh, as long as I'm pretty, that's all I have to do is be pretty. And I think that
I'll be hit. I'll tell you right now. Y'all don't want to
ma'am.
Sorry.
I think that a lot of women think all I gotta do is be pretty, have a big butt, have some eyelashes, makeup, or whatever they think. And I think a lot of men kind of get caught up in that, and then they end up having children with these people that they don't know.
Ooh, girl.
These women that don't have nothing in their heads.
And raising their children.
And they raise their kids.
And they gonna have anyway. Yes. Yes.
And it's really sad.
Petra, calm down. Let her talk.
I felt because I felt that on a personal level. I felt that like in my soul of souls.
She felt like she in church.
Yes.
Yeah, and we just see men, and women are guilty of it too. Men having children with airheads, women having children with people they don't, and it's just like you have this child who's caught in the middle, who has parents that don't know shit about each other or the world, period. And it's just like, it's really sad to see these kids being raised by dummies.
Right, and well, that's okay. Here's the thing.
I probably dodged.
That's been the thing forever. Now, there's always, no matter what generation you look at, don't let all these people tell you that our generation, no. But no matter what generation you look at, everybody was a dummy that raised their kids, especially if they were young.
Okay.
My mama was a dummy that raised us. I'm not gonna lie.
I ain't gonna lie.
Because she don't know. She didn't know nothing. She didn't know nothing.
They still don't know nothing.
I ain't know my ass from my elbow, but I figured it out.
My mama did everything she could.
But you know what? Let me tell you one thing.
Here she go again.
I'm sorry.
Come on, light skin.
I'm sorry. Because I'm losing my train of thought.
I know.
This is the thing. When you don't know shit, because I was 18 when I had my first son. I ain't know shit. Cool. But I tried to, at this point, advance. That's where yes. Yeah, so now it's like, I know I don't know shit.
Right.
I'm raising a child, and I can't have a child that also don't know shit.
Right.
So let me now try to empower myself and go that way. And this is why I'm always, my biggest thing is, and why I think self-love is so important, because people think, well, if you're pouring into yourself, you don't have nothing for nobody else. No, I'm pouring into myself daily, because a better me is a better mom, is a better wife, is a better best friend, it's a better coworker, it's a better person all in general. So as I continue to pour into myself and make myself the best I could possibly make it, everybody is going to benefit that.
But I think that takes a high level of self-awareness for you to know that about yourself.
Then the question is, who do you ask?
Right, and then you need to know the resources, you know, who you can connect yourself with to help you get through shit like that.
Google.com.
All right, ma'am.
Well, Google wasn't around when you were 18.
Right, but you know what
Google
I did?
was.
So
Google was definitely
Google
around.
was
Not like it is now.
Okay, Google was around.
Not like it is now.
So,
Tell me you can go in and type in anything in Google and find it.
I'm going to tell you my aha moment. I had an aha moment. Elijah must have been a few months old. I was going from work to school every day. I was tired. I was stressed. I was unhappy. I was a single mom. I was still trying to figure out what I was doing with that relationship with his sperm donor. What am I gonna do? And I almost fucking killed my son. Mm-hmm. Like, I almost shook him. I was so stressed. I was so scared. I was like, I can't do this. And I had a moment like, I cannot do this. Mm-hmm. But when you sit down, and I literally had to put Elijah down. I had to walk out, and I didn't almost kill him. I wanted to shake him, though. I put him down. He was crying. I said, you know what? He's in a safe place. He's fed. He's dry. I'm going to put him down for a second and walk out. When you have a level of like, oh, shit, this can't be me. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not going to be fighting no man in front of my son. Mm-hmm. And this is you know what I'm saying? All of these things, and you look back and you sit and you evaluate your life. I don't care how old you are. If you sit down and evaluate your life and what you have around you and what is not serving you, I ain't have to find a Google, because at that point I knew enough to know I need a therapist. Yeah.
Right, and the thing about that is that you were introspective enough to be able to do that. Even though you might have had issues with your parents and things, that they still instilled enough self-worth in you to where you can be like, okay, I know something's wrong and I need to find out how to work my way out of this.
Correct.
You got kids right now with parents who trying to be their best friend. Yeah. They're giving them weed, they're giving them alcohol, and they're children. You see, that's why I hate when I see these videos on Facebook when your little kid is twerking in the middle of a party.
That's not cute. That's not
cute. Or doing all these different, or they know every single lyric to these songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's wild.
Or they talk like they grown. I don't think those videos are cute. Or these little kids talking like they're grown. That's not cute to me.
Or the mamas humiliating them on
Facebook
that's
and beating the crap out of them.
But you know what? So play devil advocate. I know a lot of people that have been in really shitty situations that have come up to be amazing people.
Yeah.
Because of the resiliency that sometimes we don't even know children have. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we have enough resources, or now at this point in time, we see a lot, right? So, and we see a lot of things that we don't necessarily want. So we have an example of, this is not going to work for me. And now, as we speak about mental health, our resources more openly as a community, and discuss things of what's right and what's wrong, how we overcome generational traumas, because let's be serious here, this is what the issue is. Mm-hmm. The issue is we are trying to break cycles that have gone on forever and ever and ever. But now that we are aware of these things, that makes a difference. I don't know how so. It makes a huge difference. And now we're in a position of power. And 12 years ago, I wasn't in a position of power. Right. I just had to utilize the tools that were given to me, which is right. But at this point, I don't feel like we have that much of a crutch to stand on and say we can't figure out how to be more self-aware. I think we have enough now to change the narrative. When we talk to children, I was listening to this podcast, and it was talking about helping children regulate their emotions. It hit me on a very personal level because I feel like it spoke on just any relationship. And to sum it up, it comes down to if a child's need isn't met, as a parent, we have to figure out what's not met and how we can meet it. That's in every relationship that we have. That's in every relationship too. Because if your needs aren't met, you're not going to be able to survive. Exactly. So that's important. But now it comes down to you treating your kids. You parenting like a white person. No, I'm parenting now with more knowledge and more resources. I ain't gonna beat my kid every day. Right. I ain't got time for that. My son you're not a warden. You're not. I feel like a warden sometimes, but I'm not. But the thing is, your job isn't to keep this kid down. Your job is to take this child, and to prepare this child to live their own life. Yeah. You're not there to smother them. You're not there to do all these different things that just beat them up and hold them down, because then they can't process how to really interact with life afterwards. So you know what? And the thing is, and another point that was spoken about was the fact that we fear our children are going to do things that we've done. So now we are not only... I want my children to do what I've done. Maybe not everything. But I want them to experience life the way I do. I think how it was said was, let's just say your daughter wants to go out with her friends, but when you went out with your friends, you was out there smoking weed. I'm not going to let my daughter go out there. And your daughter is a good child. She doesn't hang out with the wrong crowd. You're familiar with the parents. But because of your issue that you went through or did, you're now placing it on her or him or whatever. And that is, it was basically spoken of like, don't parent out of fear. Yeah. Don't parent an imaginary child. You know your child, you meet the needs of your child. My oldest son, he was having a meltdown yesterday. His first day of 7th grade, all day he was snapping. I'm like, what's wrong with this kid? And I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. I got 3 kids now. I have my godson in the house. Alicia's here. So there's like a bazillion things going on. And Elijah pulled me to the side probably, like 8 o'clock. Like, Mom, I'm just really scared about school tomorrow. I just need y'all to sit down for a second. Me and Jason stopped what we doing. We went upstairs and sat down and talked to him. That takes a level of understanding and trust. So what I do with Elijah and what I've done with Elijah all these years, I can't do with Chance. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to do with Sydney. And now I have a girl. I've suffered from postpartum anxiety, and I feel like it's because I have a girl now. Oh my goodness. I don't want her thinking about you. Right. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so and the analogy, your 3-year-old slaps your newborn. Oh my God, he's going to be a woman beater. We got to stop. What the hell just happened? How are we going to say that he's going to be a woman beater when he's just simply having an issue right now? He has a need that's not being met. And I really felt like, even yesterday when I was talking to Elijah, I was thinking like, what's his need? He needs time. How can I meet it? I got to shut everything down right now and focus on him. 5 minutes. It was 5-10 minutes. And he was good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But again, this comes with knowledge and resources. Like surrounding yourself with people. My mom always told me, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Right. I never understood that until now. Yeah, well, not now, but a couple years ago. How am I going to grow in these really stagnant, small situations when I see so much more for myself? But
my grandma was the same way. She was really against me getting married because she was afraid my life would stop. I don't know if she was so worried about me marrying the wrong person, but she was just like convinced that if I were to get married, then that was it. But that's because that was her life. That was her life. My grandma got married. She got married right out of high school, and I think she got pregnant like right away. Had to work like 2 jobs. So that was her life, and she knows I like to travel and everything, and she partially lived vicariously through me on my travel. But she was afraid that if I were to get married, I wouldn't be able to do those things anymore. That I wouldn't be able to continue to go to school or progress in my career and everything. And I was and I understand that fear, but she knows me. You know what I'm saying? She knows that I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. regardless of who I'm married to.
It's hard when you're a parent.
But see, it's not even about being a parent. I think that's hard. It comes down to the fact of this. When it comes to marriage, I didn't understand this until I married my wife. Because I was married before. So I didn't understand. And all the relationships I've been in, everything I've been in, it didn't make sense to me the level of commitment it takes to be in that relationship. But because, let me tell you something. When I was like I was saying before, like I want my kids to do most of the things I've done. 23 through 25, I was wild out here in these streets. Like, I remember playing Russian roulette back in, you know what I'm saying? Like
legit?
Yeah, legit.
With a gun?
With a gun. I remember doing that. I remember party hopping. I was out here wild in these streets. I was doing.
I feel like you have to have a level of like experience to be able to effectively parent.
I agree with that.
And then but see, the thing is, before that, I was married to my first wife before all these things happened. Before I went crazy in the world, cause I got a lot of money. I started making a lot of money. I started having a lot more freedom. And then growing up, we weren't poor. But we were poor. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we were.
We had money, but not that much money.
Right. You can survive. That's why I'm the way I am now. I can barter anything. My wife, I rarely pay full price for anything because I'll barter the mess. Because I'm a jack of all. I can do a lot.
Yeah, you can do a lot.
So I barter my talents to get things. So
you prostitute yourself.
Essentially.
Well, listen, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
So, but the thing is this. So, I remember, where did I start with this? Help me out. Where did I start with this?
You were wild.
So much your wives, you wild now.
Oh yeah, so commitment. So it wasn't. So now with your grandmother, what she was thinking in my mind, is the same thing that my dad said. Cause when I first married my first wife, they're like, yo, you don't think you're ready for this? This might not be a good place for you. And I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a good place.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good marriage. We were married way too young. I was 19 when I got married. You know what I mean? So I married way too young. She was 2 days younger than me. Like she was a Gemini. She was a Gemini also.
So there was like 80 y'all in the house.
Yeah. So it was crazy. It was wild. So it was I wasn't ready for it. But now I know that if I had married my wife now, then and we had the commitment that we have now, then there was a lot of things I wouldn't have done. And I understand that. But the thing is that I don't think that I would have an issue with it. I wouldn't have been driving the cars I drove, speeding down the roads, doing all that stuff. But I think that I would be in a different place. And I understand why my dad said this might not be the best thing for you at the time.
But I'm doing it anyway.
I did. So actually, I didn't tell them I was married. I came home with the girl and was at home with them and didn't even tell them we were married until maybe a week after we were home.
Trash.
Wow. Trash for real.
I would have put you out.
I was 19. What are you
trying to get out the dorms?
You know what I'm saying? I was 19. When she was 19, we didn't know nothing about nothing. Fresh in the military.
Let's get out the barracks, babe.
Not really any money at all because we were private. I'm saying, but we were living life the way we thought we were living life. So, I understand that side of it.
Yeah.
Now, when I turned, so I turned 28 and I started dating my wife. Now, craziness was gone.
Yeah.
I was not.
You was ready? All right.
Not all the way. Y'all know me. I wasn't all the way crazy like I was before. So now, in the level of commitment I have now, y'all ain't gonna see me out here doing the things I used to be doing.
Yeah, you come to photo shoots with "I love my wife." I'm like, yes, David. Yes, you do.
Oh yeah, with my hoodie.
Yep. Yeah, I love my wife. Don't try to play with me.
Through and through, I was a thot.
Oh gosh, she was that.
Jeez,
David. Y'all gotta think about me, yo. I was a traveling musician. I was on tour as a musician. I'm going from city to city to city to city to city.
Sydney is starting to turn up. She's like, "What's he talking about?"
Yeah. So I was not the ideal person in any relationship. I've dated Black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian, Indian. I've dated all these different races, all these different women, and I still never had a white friend. But I've dated all these.
Your white girlfriend doesn't count as a friend?
She wasn't his friend.
Oh.
She was, no. I almost said your name. Woo!
Don't do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I scrub that out. But me and her, we were cool. We were alright. We weren't friends. I wasn't about to trust her with nothing.
Yikes.
I mean, not for real. I wasn't about to trust her with my experiences.
She was his girl that was his friend. That
I have a hard time being vulnerable now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a Gemini thing.
I have a hard time being vulnerable with my wife now.
You better break your neck.
My super vulnerable ass. That's a y'all Gemini thing.
No, it's a male Gemini
thing.
Okay.
All three of y'all are Gemini?
All three of us are Gemini.
So there's like 9 people in this room right now.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They say this is a big rich town.
Like,
I just come from the poet's side.
Yo, let's talk about that real quick. What do y'all feel about Trey Songz taking over?
Trey Songz is trash for that.
Trash.
I don't like it.
Why is Joe not there? What happened to him?
I want to know. I want to know the story in that. I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna find out why Joe's not doing
the internet.
It's probably just something with 50 Cent.
The interwebs is not happy.
It's probably just something with 50 Cent.
He got beef.
Nobody was happy with the intro.
The first episode was good though.
It was okay.
I haven't watched the show in 2 years, so I don't even know what's going on.
Well,
we're not gonna the three of us watched it together.
We're not gonna spoilers.
And
it was something happened I wasn't expecting to happen.
Yes. But I was like, I think I gotta see what happens next.
Well, yeah, it was only the first episode.
Well, duh. But
what gets me is how people went in on him. What's his name? What's his real name?
Omari. Somebody.
Tariq, the little boy.
No.
Oh.
Omari.
Somebody.
Why? Hardwick.
Yeah, that's it. Hardwick.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they went in. They gone on him because of his interracial marriage.
Yeah, but he don't play with his life. You heard him? Did you see what he wrote?
No.
He clapped back. I forget
what
it was.
He's always clapped. He had that craziness with Beyonce, then they jumped on with that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that, Alicia? Mm-mm. They were at some award show, and he went to hug Beyonce.
Oh, you in the Beehive? You in the Beehive?
She's a Virgo. Her birthday just passed.
But she's in the Beehive.
She's a Virgo.
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm in the Beehive.
You Beehive adjacent.
I'm a recent Beyonce fan.
Okay.
I'm not a back. I'm like a.
And they're not either. Let's get that out the way.
This is true.
They're not either. The Beehive.
I'm not a Beyonce.
They're not either.
Fan.
Some
like
of them
Baby
are.
Boy. I didn't like that.
I like that song.
I like recent Beyonce. I didn't like Beyonce before.
So we all know that we can't down talk Beyonce on the radio.
We're not here to down talk.
No. I'm saying we can't down. We know nobody would ever do that.
We'll get canceled.
Yeah, we'll get canceled for that. But the thing is this, like y'all know that everybody that ever known me know that I'm not a Beyonce fan. I love what she's done. I love her talent. I'm not a Beyonce fan.
She ain't for everybody, but she's an entertainer. Can't deny that.
I am the biggest Jay-Z fan though.
I'm a Beyonce fan, but like I said, a recent Beyonce fan.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those that goes back to like
Destiny's Child.
Right.
When she first went solo.
See, I like Destiny's Child.
Bad movies, but you know.
Bruh, her in The Lion King, shoot me.
I didn't watch Lion King.
But she did great on that Can You Feel Love Tonight. So.
Oh, she did really good in the singing.
It's a song.
That's what she does.
Well, yeah, like Akuna Matata kind of it disappoints me.
How many complete singers do y'all know that can act?
I didn't like the song. Period.
How many singers do y'all know that can really act?
Dylan, and Dylan.
The only person I'm thinking about in my head is what's her name? Janelle Monáe.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's a great actress.
There's another ThedaNyree.
We need you to sing something.
Thank you.
We need you to sing something.
I just sang for you.
Right,
really sing.
Do it again.
They say this is a big.
There's not a lot of singers out there who are
you're right.
Well. But there's very few rappers also that are great actors.
Justin Timberlake's a good actor.
Who?
Justin Timberlake. He's a good actor.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake. I give him that. I give him being a good actor. I actually like him. What was he in with Mila Kunis? That movie.
Oh, Friends with Benefits. That's a good movie.
That's a good
movie.
That was a really good movie.
Yeah,
too.
it was a good movie. It was way better than
the other one.
No Strings Attached.
No,
they were No Strings Attached. The other one was Friends with Benefits.
No,
or was
they were Friends with Benefits.
Okay, I like theirs better than
No Strings
the
Attached.
Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman. I did not like that.
I don't like Natalie Portman though. But that's here.
I like Ashton Kutcher, but it just and what's her name? Mindy somebody was in that one too.
Oh, Mindy Kaling?
Yes, she was in that one too.
I like Mindy Kaling.
The No Strings Attached one.
But I mean, it's like there's so many. There's not very many because when you're this good at one thing,
it's hard.
You usually lack somewhere.
Exactly. So leave it for other people.
Yes. Let actors be actors.
Let actors be actors. Let singers be singers. You ain't gotta be a
Donald
singer.
Glover is good at both. I think he's good at both. He directs, he writes, he acts.
But he's never been great at music. Singing. He's never been great. He's been good at music.
Yeah, I would say great.
I love some of his albums. Don't get me wrong. I love some of his albums. The song that's sticking in my head right now is World Star, which I thought was one of the most interesting songs he's ever put out.
Whenever I hear Childish Gambino, the first song that pops in my head is The Worst Guys with him and Chance the Rapper. That's the first song I ever heard by him.
I'm not a big Chance fan, though.
I was a Chance fan, but now I'm not a Chance fan.
I understand.
Yes. I'm glad you... See, David! I'm so glad you understand.
But I've never been a big Chance fan.
I'm okay with Chance.
But see, like my top five, in rapping, my top five, of course, number one on my list is Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I'm going on any mark.
He's number one on a lot of people's list.
Any MLK Boulevard.
I thought that was one of the dopest lines in the album. Yeah. Because there's an MLK Boulevard
everywhere.
Every hood.
It's the hood.
And you always know it's the MLK Boulevard because it used to be called something else, so they put the MLK sign underneath it.
And then the roads are always really crappy.
Yeah. But like I said, I respect. I'm not gonna go into what my top five is. We'll do that for another day.
Okay.
We're gonna be cutting this short soon. But I just know that Jay-Z is number one on it, and Tupac and Biggie aren't in it at all in my top five.
Okay.
It's just facts.
Aren't in it.
They are not in my top five. They one of them reaches my top 10. One of them, but they are not in my top five. I'm gonna let y'all sit back and think about who it is. What is that?
It's Tupac.
The hell it is. I like Tupac as a activist. I like Tupac as even an actor. I like Tupac as an actor and an activist as that. As a rapper, I wasn't a big fan. Now
it's like a spoken word.
But Biggie as a rapper was a beast. But we're not getting into that though, because we're gonna be cutting this soon. But I'm not gonna. So
stop talking about it.
Hey, it's rap. Hey, I'm a rap.
Sydney over here sweating.
I know, right?
I have Sydney with me, guys, and she's really quiet. But believe me, she's real.
She is real.
She's real. She just don't cry very often, but she's breaking my back.
But we're going to go ahead and cut this episode short here, y'all. We have fun.
So cute.
It's hot in this room right now.
Alicia.
Jeremy does not understand that.
AC.
Ain't that
they don't understand, one, they don't understand AC. And secondly, he doesn't know how to keep his weather right.
It's 3 degrees in the morning and it's 100 degrees at night. It's just that simple. It's so crazy. In the morning, I'm like freezing. I got to put my robe on, my socks on. And by the time it's 10 o'clock, I'm stripping.
Oh, ma'am.
I'm just saying. So hot. It's sure laid out.
We know it's about the kids. So we're going to go
ahead. It's about the kids.
We do this for the kids, y'all.
Lord.
Y'all, we love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Bye.
Y'all will see us soon. We're not going to go through where y'all can find. Well, actually, you know what, Alicia? Are you on social media? How can people find you?
Don't find me.
Don't find me. Let me alone.
Don't find me.
She wants to remain anonymous.
Let me alone.
Can Theda let us know what her Twitter name is?
Your mom's a hoe. underscore. Where you can find me at on Twitter.
Your mom's a hoe?
That's her Twitter.
I love that.
That's my Twitter. Your mom's a hoe underscore. So you follow me on Twitter.
My question is that when you were really making that was it nighttime when you made that Twitter?
I don't recall. I was in Japan at the time. Okay, so I'll tell you the backstory. All right, so I was in Japan, and a lot of my followers are East Coast followers. So when I was awake, they would be asleep. So I was not very active on Twitter at all because when I'm asleep, they're awake, active. So I was trying to figure out a way that I could get more followers, and I figured if I created a catchy handle and I would get retweeted, people were like, oh, what is that? And they would follow me. And so I was trying to think of something. But previously, it was Shaw Daddy. So I was trying to think of...
Oh, I need to know what that means.
Oh, I'll tell you. So I was trying to think. So I was trying to think of something, and I think I had just watched that video where the teacher's like, "Whoever threw that paper, your mom's a hoe," and I was like, ha, light bulb. So I made it. Your mom's a hoe underscore.
Yeah, I've deleted 5 Twitters at this point. That we're not going to bring up the old names of these Twitters. Yeah. So, but my Twitter now, everybody knows the Conscious Gent.
Conscious Gent, David Linson. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
And my name is I am Mrs. Sherbin Fox on Instagram. And A Second Chance __ on Instagram.
All right, everybody. So we all know where we're at now. Y'all can find us. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Again, when y'all come in here, we're just sitting here having fun. Mm-hmm. We're not here to really debate anything. We're not really here to enlighten you on anything. We want you to calm down from the rest of your day and have fun with us. Mm-hmm. If you have something to talk to us about, go ahead and send us a comment, a message, and we'll try to read it on air. We'll try to talk about it on air.
That'll be fun.
We will be moving into different segments with the show, so be prepared for that. Theda will have her own segment. Petra will have her own segment.
Theda better stay ready so she ain't gotta get
Man.
The show is my segment, so I won't be having my own
Facts.
segment. So we're going to just do this. We'll have some fun, everybody. So just go ahead, stick with us, rock with us, and just be prepared for what's coming next.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Take a picture, man. It'll last longer. Hit the gas on them. Hit a dance on them. Take no chance on them. Get the cash on